Right near the start of the whole set of water films, I mentioned that this is a pivotal moment. Everything in our area of the Cornwall and West Devon World Heritage Site is at risk. Heritage and habitats are in decay and decline, threatened by property developers and owners for whom commercial interests override everything. To learn that the Charlestown Shipwreck Museum is on the market to the highest bidder, along with the village heritage collection featured there and given generously by local families over many years, really that does ring alarm bells. Add to this the current rumours from reliable sources that the actual harbour may be for sale shortly, and it confirms the crisis point we have reached. In the next sections, I'll briefly mention suitable outside agencies that seem appropriate to help us formulate and deliver on a rescue plan. This idea will be developed further in Film 5, along with pointers that explain how you can play a part by signing a petition. Now I want to put forward proposals about nature and habitats around Cam Bridges. We've heard over and over that silt needs to be removed. Take a look at the Canal and Rivers Trust to discover that moving silt isn't the biggest challenge, getting rid of it is. And usually you will end up paying for removal. This profile shows the way that our raised tram track could be utilised to help. It can carry people, but also heavy horses and carts, tractors and trailers, possibly even bigger machines. By digging out along the two sides, we can reinforce and have them become strong holding walls, around which we create silt corridors. Here on the right you see the old leat, with side walls similarly restored, plus the addition of timber stakes holding rolls of coir matting. When supports of this kind are ready on all sides, we'll carefully move to the river using ground mats for the heavy horses or machines. You can see the idea. It's to end up with two corridors, kept damp and monitored regularly to identify and protect plants and species as they become established. So action point 7A is work with Cornwall Wildlife Trust to direct existing or new grant funding to a suitable university for a scoping and feasibility study, followed, hopefully, by implementation and research throughout the first 5 or even 10 years. Action point 7B, before leaving Cam Bridges, also needs research into flocculation and potential of the settling and stilling tanks to remove contaminants. If this can be achieved with the big tank fully restored, we could take a large amount of river water via this penstock into the south side leat and on to be processed as has already been described. Although many people are very keen to run water back across the viaduct, this is something we feel should be included in the next 5-year plan, 2030 to 35, because it will take a lot of preparation to achieve. Still, it is vital to work towards that outcome for hydro to run once more on the east side of Valley, bearing in mind, however, the advice, albeit from a member of their team speaking off the record, that Network Rail will oppose anything other than a modern type of pipe. They may oppose even that. So what is achievable by the start of the 30s if we begin now? We say concentrate on the west side, restoring the old mill leat all the way from Levreen Moor to a small turbine at Bridges Mill and continuing on in its previous path. This restoration is the preferred option of all the farmers that we talk with regularly. That doesn't mean every landowner is on board. Here is an outline description of the route it would take. I have the great good fortune of having been lent this map. It's a footpath map for Treverbin, and it goes into Luxillian, and it's possible to see, for instance, rock dryers and Goombarrow Junction, where lithium may be put on trains. But we're going to go north of Lavrine. We're going to go north of Lavrine Farm. We're going to come to this area with Higher Menadue and the beautiful word Rose in the Valley. And look at all these water words: springs, collects, streams, strike. Goodness knows what those are. Looks like leaves. And then if you're very clever, you can see the word weir. That is where we will have an abstraction. The license exists. We want to go with it. We will need new fish paths there, and then follow the river down. Can you see it meandering here? And the leat is fairly straight below Canna Farm, on and on and on. And eventually there's a mill disused, I can see. Collects, spreads. We are below a place called Bedigo Farm. Unfortunately, piece of woodland there, that little copse, is where the leat is back in the river now. But if you see the turquoise here, that's the old track of the leat. It will bring us in to the industrial units behind bridges, and that's where we can make some power down the drop beside the mill. And also, as I'm showing you, that really does make it clear. We've got water from Triskilling Stream and all of that trying to squeeze through at bridges. And here is proof at the start of an ample water supply already covered by the existing abstraction licence. There'll have to be a new fish screen and of course many other elements to consider, including a considerable distance of new pipe, which should be permitted as this is the buffer zone, not the actual World Heritage Site. I want to share here an astonishing page of pictures of new hydro projects undertaken by the National Trust. Hopefully, their experts could advise further on suitability of the special design of flexible pipe they used. Arriving at Cambridge, the leat will connect into the existing black pipe using a brand new penstock just installed. Hurrah, one piece of good news. We know from a 2022 blog post that the water will go all the way round beyond the viaduct, and this is where we can continue its flow in the fairly well preserved old Charlestown Leat Channel, reaching a steep gully where in the past was a kind of pond or holding basin for the cattle of Trevani Farm to drink. This is where the leat comes in good shape all the way to here, ends here. Could have a big pool for the animals to drink and holding, and then start the descent down the gullies. This is below that holding basin, and so you need a pipe, you need a penstock, sluice gate, whatever, and a pipe to come through here. And then the track is kind of here. There must have been a stream here in the past. The idea put forward by a land livery parish family is to tumble water down the gully below, generating power through an Archimedes screw type design or possibly another type of generator inside a tube. The plans would need to be put together and managed by the landowner, who here again is Network Rail. Understandably, they will insist on safe conduct of water in the culvert under their line, probably requiring emergency extra overflow arrangements for times of ultra-high water volume. We hope very much that Network Rail will see the possibility for contributing to the net zero targets of this area, with power generated being sold to the farm behind and to Rockmill below, and with some element of community share ownership to be offered within the scheme. This is a big dream, but by no means impossible technically. It also would bring further benefits for a rerouting of the Saints Way to a viewing platform and interpretation opportunities at this location. That's it. Action point 8 is the last word. Discuss more widely within the Luxillian community before either encouraging a suitable outside organisation to pursue or encourage to set up a CIC that can make a more formal, direct approach by locals to Network Rail.